Hello everybody. First, thanks for watching. I know there are a lot of fly tying videos out there and I appreciate you clicking on this one. This pattern is just a flying ant with red thread hard body. Not too difficult to tie. It does take a little time with the thread segments there. So I will explain the materials as I go and put the recipe in the description of the video. So let's get that lined up. This is a size 16 barbless dry fly hook. I am using red 70 denier UTC. So you can start at about the middle. We do have to break our body up into a couple of different components. So if you want to make it a hard body. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So wrap the thread back to where you want that first segment to start. Then just go back and forth right here. Now this part takes a little bit of time. Okay, so there's the back segment. Now, you could leave it like that. It looks a little bit ribbed, segmented. You can see the individual threads. So what I would like to do, if you wanted a true hard body, put a drop of head cement on it, or I'm going to use some UV resin, fast drying, fast curing. So put a drop on my bodkin right here, and then just touch it on. You see I put a whip finish there because this is hard to, after you put the middle hackle on, it's hard to go back and do this. So if I'm tying just a bunch of these, some of them I won't put the UV resin on. I will just leave it as is. This gives them a little bit more durability. And will they last longer like this? Probably so. So a pretty good dollop on here. Now you might want to just spin it around a little bit, help it even out. A little thread there. Now put your light on it. Takes about 10 to 15 seconds of UV light on there to cure this resin. That should be pretty cured. And now you've got a fairly hard back segment right there. So, same thread we were just using. Start another one right here. We're going to tie in the dry fly hackle, just grizzly, size to match the hook. Doesn't take much. Now I've had one feather that I've used for the last 3 flies here. Just stripping off the tips right there, or the fibers at that part. Now I don't like to wind it too close to that back piece because then it will crowd it a little bit. So I'll take my hackle pliers, and you could probably do about 5 wraps. I've been doing about 3 to keep the legs just a little bit sparser. I think that's 2 right there, and that's 3. So bring my thread back to where I want to tie it in, and then just 2 wraps here to lock this. And I hit my backdrop a little bit there. So go ahead and cut this end of this hackle off. And if you have any going forward, you might want to try to pull them back, and definitely not trap them under there. So I think that's going to be okay looking. Now bring your thread back up. At least leave, if you're tying this with wings, leave about, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and trim these because they're going to get caught in this next segment here. So leave an eye length back if we're going to do this as a winged. If you just want a red hard-body ant, you could take this all the way back up there to your eye. But we've got to leave a little room to tie the wings on. So same thing we just did. Try to build your football shaped front segment. It can be a little bit smaller than the back segment. And try to leave that very narrow waist between the two segments. That gives the ant its ant-like look. So I think we've got that one just about as fat as we want it. So we'll bring our thread back up here before we do one more whip finish here, and then so I can put the resin on this one. So you can definitely see the difference there between the unvarnished front and the varnished back. So what we'll do with this one is the exact same thing. Probably one drop. So you can see how it would be a little bit harder to put any UV resin on that back segment while we have that hackle on there. But this front segment shouldn't take too much, so probably have more on my bodkin than I need. So just take your time here, slowly spin it around until you've covered enough of it. It's not perfectly even. I can see that bottom thread sticking out there on the bottom, but it is even enough. So I'm spinning it before I put the light on it. Now I can put the UV light on it to harden this up. That's probably good, about 10 seconds or so. Now, for the wings on this thing, let's go ahead and start another thread. Same thread, just started right in front of that thorax segment right there. Okay. For the wing, just hackle tips. So not big. See, that's a good one right there. Let's see if I've got any more about that size. I've been tying them on one at a time. I like them flaring up a little bit, not laying too flat. If you wanted them to lay flatter, you could build this head up a little bit more and then they would lay flatter. But I like them almost at a 45-degree angle. So let's do a couple of wraps. That wing is going to be a little longer than I want, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it before securing it. So maybe about 4 millimeters shorter, I think. Let's see, lay this one up here now. Get rid of those. Okay, that's about the length I want right there, and it spun on me when I looked at it. So okay, see that? There's a bird's eye view. It's coming off just a little bit to the side. Now find another one about the same. Okay. Now I like those that are about the same size and bird's eye view. They're coming off of similar angles. So I think that looks fine right there. Now just finish your head. Try to even it out between the segment, that front segment, and the head if you can. Another 3 or 4 turn whip finish. Try not to get it up there in the eye. Let's see. Okay, I think that one kept the eye clear on that. So let's snip our thread here. And one last time. So we've got our wings on there. We've got our hackle in the center. And this one just be a little bit smaller of a drop of the resin here. Get it put on my bodkin. And spin it around without getting it in your eye. If you do, you just have to poke it back out. So there you have it. Didn't take a whole lot of resin to finish that head, but just put your torch on it. Another little quick spin for 10 or 15 seconds. And there you have it. Hard-bodied red flying ant. Same steps to go. If you don't want the flying ant, you just leave the wings off. So pretty simple pattern, very effective in summer terrestrial months. So that's all. If you've watched this far, I really appreciate it. I hope you will consider subscribing. I've been doing 2 or 3 videos a week, and I hope to keep up this pace. So thanks again, everybody.